Hi, my name is Jamie, and I am an insomniac. For about 2.5 months now, I have been suffering from insomnia. I understand that a lot of people go through this for years and even decades, and I can't imagine what that's like, but I can say it's been a really painful 2.5 months for me dealing with this. It started when I was on a work trip out of state from where I live, and my sleep I just had a couple bad nights in a hotel and it spiraled into a vicious cycle of just insomnia induced insomnia, as it often does for people. Um, it's really unfortunate. It's not fair, but it happens a lot apparently. I came home to deal with it. I've been really solution oriented about it ever since. I started about a month into it. I started treatment for it. I started cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. If you're familiar with cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, you know that it involves several components, one of which is basic sleep hygiene rules, of which everybody knows. Don't watch TV before bed, uh, don't drink caffeine after noon, all that stuff that everybody knows and that people with insomnia definitely know. The second component of cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia is the protocol where you are called upon to get out of bed every 15, 20, 30 minutes, depending on who's instructing you. You get out of bed. If you can't sleep, you do something boring. I tried this for the first 3 weeks of my treatment, and my sleep deteriorated quite a bit. I think I was spending a lot of mental energy trying to get out of bed every 20 minutes because I really hated doing it and I really wanted to do a good job at it. And it just didn't work well for me. It just made me more hyper vigilant about my sleep. And I know that can happen to some people who are particularly rigid like me. And I'm not saying it wouldn't have worked if I hadn't stuck with it longer, but I can say in the 3 weeks that I did give it an honest shot, it didn't go well. So I was in a really tough spot at that point, and I told my sleep therapist that I was ready to start sleep restriction therapy immediately, which, if you're not familiar with that, is where you deliberately cut back on your sleep window significantly in order to build sleep drive over the course of several days so that sleep is almost definitely going to happen no matter how anxious you are about it, which for me is would solve a lot of issues. So I tried this about 3 weeks ago for the first time. I wanted to be really aggressive about it, so I set a 5.5 hour sleep window and decided that that was how it's going to be. And the first night, I made my first mistake. I went cold turkey off of my sleep medication, which was a bad idea. And I didn't sleep at all the first night, which is sort of normal with this protocol. And the second night, I thought for sure I was going to sleep, and I almost didn't. I made it about 4 hours into the night, decided I was not going to go 3 straight days without sleep, and I broke down and I took something to help me sleep and slept past my window, just completely crashed and burned my first attempt at sleep restriction therapy. So that after that happened, I was really, really upset and went back to my 8 hour window, went back to sleep medication, and just kind of pulled back and took some time to re-strategize. At that point, I decided to read Guy Meadows' book, The Sleep Book. And that addresses a different therapy protocol called acceptance and commitment therapy for insomnia. It shares a lot of the same values as cognitive behavioral therapy, but it differs in that it teaches you to accept and not challenge your thoughts and feelings around insomnia. And in doing so, you don't have to implement stimulus control. You can stay in bed and you can learn how to accept all of the thoughts and feelings that might come in the night. And I thought that was really intriguing. And I think I did gain some significant traction from that. I learned a lot of really helpful tools to help with that. But I feel like I'm starting to regress a little bit again. I've been off sleep medication for 9 days now, which is really exciting. And I feel like I have a whole new set of tools in my toolbox, which is also really exciting. And I decided I'm ready to start sleep restriction therapy again and give it a second go. I have been sleeping a 7-hour window the last 4 nights just to kind of back myself into it. And from here on out, I will be sleeping no more than 6 hours a night. I'll be going to bed at 1 o'clock, waking up at 7 o'clock. Unless I decide to make it shorter along the way, which is a possibility. But we'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll take quite some time for me to sleep 6 straight hours. But it's a really successful technique. Works well for people. I think I can do it this time. So wish me luck. I will do my best to keep you updated here on this video blog.